Okay, this is a house that we built here. This is the new house addition, 2 stories, and this is the existing house that we built on too. So this is going to be a collection of videos shot over the last year of all the steps to plumb this house. So we will show you in this video how to plumb around the foundation and grounds of the house to collect rainwater, foundation water, and route it in 4-inch PVC pipe to a big 12 by 12 by 10 rock pit. And then we'll show you how to do the 1.25-inch copper main line that brings your fresh water in through the side wall of the foundation. And also we have a 3/4-inch main line serving the old part of the house that's still in use, so we have to reconnect to that too. Let me start with the drain pipes. The house has a septic system, so we spliced into the cast iron pipe here and brought up a 4-inch ABS pipe under the slab of the garage, and we come up under the stairwell here. So we have a clean out here, and there's also a sink in the garage that was an afterthought, but we put it in there. The 3-inch pipe comes up and out through the roof, and we have just the one 3-inch pipe going through the roof. We didn't want to have a bunch of other pipes going through the roof. So these are the vent pipes, and this is a 2-inch dedicated pipe over to the toilet, and it also serves as a clean out. This is a 2-inch pipe that serves the laundry sink and the wash machine. And then the pipe continues along over here, and it serves the shower and the 2 lavatory sinks. The vent goes and vents the 2-inch shower pipe. The vent pipe over here serves the 1.5-inch sink pipes that connect into the 2-inch shower pipe, and those come across into the 3-inch pipe that comes from the toilet here, and the laundry sink and wash machine drain into the 3-inch pipe too. So then we have a 3-inch clean out here and a 3-inch pipe that goes along the beam here, and it picks up a toilet in the entry bath and a sink in the entry bath. Here again we have the 2-inch dedicated toilet vent that returns to the 3-inch main pipe, and here is the 2-inch vent that serves the bathroom sink. And then this is a vent pipe that goes down to the sink in the garage. And this vent pipe, both of these vent pipes are 6 inches higher than the counter level of the bathroom sink, because you don't want water coming up and back draining down and flooding out in a sink below. Okay, so that covers our drainage system for the new part of the house. And in the old part of the house, we have the 3-inch pipe comes up through the ceiling, and we replaced all this plumbing here because there used to be a wall here and all the plumbing came up through that wall, and they decided they wanted to make this room wider, so we eliminated the room that was here and put in a big beam all the way across, and then we had to put in another beam here to support the joists that were there and the bathtub that's up here. So we have an LSL beam because it had to have a 3 5/8-inch hole through the beam, and an LSL beam is the only one rated to do that. We also replaced the pipe coming from this bathroom sink upstairs with 1.5-inch ABS, and it goes through the beam, and then it crosses over, becomes a 2-inch pipe here. This is the bathtub drain, and this is an 1.5-inch vent that comes down, connects into the bathtub, connects into that, and then that connects into the 2-inch pipe below, and those two, the sink and bathtub, drain down into the 3-inch pipe below and out to the septic system. The toilet just simply drains. Here's a clean out here, and it goes down and out. So that covers our drain system for the house. Now we have a hot water continuous loop, and so we have a 3/4 inch PEX line that goes all through the house, in 1/2 inch branch lines off of it, and it ends at the shower here where it becomes the loop, returning to the water heater, connects into the cold input of the water heater with a one-way flapper valve to prevent cold water from backflowing into the hot loop, and then the hot loop water goes in with the cold water into the water tank, and then there's a pump on the hot water output that sends water continuously through the pipes out to the end and cycling back over and over in a continuous loop. The blue pipe is the cold water, and that just branches out to each individual locations. It's a main 3/4 inch trunk line, and everything else is a 1/2 inch branch. And this is an afterthought here when they decided they wanted to change all the plumbing in this area. So we have the cold comes in and serves the kitchen, the shower, and the toilet. And then we have the hot line comes over, serves the kitchen, and then it also branches down to serve the shower in the basement bathroom, and then it comes up to the shower in the upstairs bathroom, and then over to the laundry or the bathroom sink upstairs. So you will see all of these pipes and connections and how we did that in the video. Yeah, so we've tried to be pretty thorough in collecting all the video progressions, the installations over the course of the last year. So I hope you'll enjoy the video, and maybe it'll help you get some ideas to do your own plumbing, fix your own problems, and feel free to leave comments, ask questions. Okay, we will see you on the next video, and you are invited to subscribe. Thank you. We have to connect up to this 1.25 inch copper water main line. So here's the main line. What they've done in the past is 1.25 inch pipe goes over there to a reducer to 3/4 inch, and then it comes down, and they have it set up to go into a ball valve, and then from there it runs over and connects up into the house, which I don't know if I can see that from here. So that's the next thing we have to do, is put a T here, and then we'll come across here through the wall and over to about here, which is the new water heater location right there. Then we have to relocate this electrical service panel too. So then we have these wires for the irrigation system, and then we have some plumbing over there, which is going to come through the wall here, and then we'll put a 2-inch pipe in the wall, one for the wiring and one for the plumbing, and then we'll have the electrical and all the controls here for the main shutoff and for the irrigation control system. And the wall is flush off the end wall of the house. This is where our 1.25 inch pipe comes in through the wall. That's through a 2-inch section of ABS that we had cast into the wall. And right now we are working on the connection between the 1.25 inch main pipe. We have to hook it up there and over to another 3/4 inch line that goes into the house. And then we'll be doing the foundation drainage along here too.
Shove this in the corner, Jeff.
Well, yeah, you just have him bring over another load, and then I can hand shovel the gravel over there.
Yeah, but that's not hurting the pipe at all.
Well, yeah, that's because I had the shovel over it to shield it.
It would hurt it.
So here's what we've got here. We've connected the new plumbing into the old plumbing. We got rid of the old ball valve that was buried there, and then we had to do a little bit of a turn here to be able to match the pipe. Here's the old pipe coming in. We've got an 1.25 T and elbow coming out, and the pipe comes across and through the wall where we have some dimple roll for the waterproofing the foundation. So here comes Ted with another load of gravel. Yeah, so there you see the plumbing. And we've got our fabric over the gravel with a little bit of gravel to hold it in place, and our dimple water barrier on the foundation wall. And we are in motion down there with the tight line for the foundation drain. Okay, so this is Thursday. Tomorrow's a big day. Get a lot of stuff done. We've got some plumbing inspections coming in, and we're going to make up our build materials list to start doing walls. And there you can see the amount that we are above. I'm on the center line of the 4-inch pipe, and you can see how much it drops down there. I guess it's not very easy to see the angle here, but over here you can see that we've got about a 2-inch lift on the Y coming off of that. Yeah, so you can see the Y coming up. Okay. So now, just got to kind of spread our dirt around a little bit, get the pipe situated, and then there's a footing goes under the pipe here, so we have to dig down deeper under the pipe and do what's called a bridge, just to thicken the footing under where the pipe crosses through it. Okay. And that is where the pipe comes up, inside of the closet under the stairs next to the post, where we can get all of the bathrooms and kitchen above plumbed into it. Okay.
That's really a bad video to post because he wanted me to film it. It's like,
Oh, I can cut that out.
we'll cut it out. But
Here we have our 4-inch sewer pipe is wrapped in foam so that it will deal with expansion and contraction within the concrete slab. There's 3 footings here. So here we go. There is the 1.25-inch main coming into an 1.25-inch ball valve, and then we'll put a T here that has a valve down for the low point drain, and then it comes up and over to where the water heater is going to be.
And we had our inspection today. Inspector liked everything, signed off on it. Okay, and so right now what we got to do is finish up here real quick. We had to dig into the hillside here by hand and install pipe for the foundation and for the downspouts. The downspout pipe is the upper one, the foundation pipe is that lower one. The downspout pipe goes a foot deeper than the foundation pipe, so then the foundation pipe goes into two 22.5-degree bends down to a 4-inch Y, and then it converts from triple wall, thin wall pipe for foundations and downspouts to schedule 40 PVC. And the reason that we switched to schedule 40 PVC is because cars are going to be driving over this, and the thin wall is susceptible to crush, whereas the schedule 40 is not. So we have 50 feet of schedule 40 out to this Y, and then here this Y comes across and connects into these other downspouts, and that other pipe down there is the foundation drain back here. And so we have the fabric cloth here because it's going to have some gravel out to the conversion coupler that converts from triple wall to schedule 40 PVC. And this is the downspout pipe out here, and it drops down next to the foundation, connects into the downspout pipe on this side, drops down level with the foundation pipe, and then we run those out to this other ditch here. So you can see the pipes there. So those are going to come here. They kick this way 22 degrees, and they will come over to that white rectangle or triangle in the ground, and that's where that culvert is going to be, that concrete basin. All right, we have got our 12 by 12 catch basin installed. We've got a polyurethane submersible caulk gluing the PVC into the catch basin because the pipe connectors in the catch basin fit loosely, and it doesn't make much sense to have a pipe connection that is going to leak water out when you're trying to direct water down into a collection area. So now what I have to do is get some mortar and mortar the pipes into the hole there. And everything is working out just right. We ended up having exactly the correct amount of PVC pipe, right down to using 2 sections of cutoff. Ended up exactly. How often does that happen? So there you go. That is the, whatever you want to call it, French drain or water retention area. But this is where modern construction wants the rainwater management to go, into some sort of a rock pit that will let the water go into the ground instead of just down the storm drain. There we go. You can see the water flowing inside. You know what? Just for kicks. Just for kicks, I'm gonna lift this up. So there you can see that's a 4-inch pipe. Going through the catch basin. So we just had a serious rain here, and yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so we are done with another week here. We got our plumbing supplies are laid out in order of how they will be installed. Just double checking what we have against the list of what we need. So the plumbing is going to come. There's a toilet right where that nail is. There's a shower stall down about in this area here, and a sink, and the pipes are going to come across over to the beam, and then they will follow the beam down, and they will drop down, go through here, and connect up to the main waste down there. So we got a big day of plumbing, big week of plumbing coming up next week. Then, this is just another view. So you can see the position of the toilet here. I guess it's not going to show up very well in the contrast. This is master bathroom. This here indent is where there's going to be a seat in the shower, and that whole end of the wall there will be a custom concrete bed shower that we're going to make. Toilet goes under the window here, and sink will be along the wall there. And we have some plumbing going on now. There's a toilet above there, and that's the vent for the toilet. Then this 3-inch pipe will come over and down and connect into the main stack. And then there's also going to be a bathroom lav sink that's going to come down and connect into the line there. And we have a laundry sink and a wash machine that is going to come across and connect in here. And then there is the toilet over there that is going to come across and connect in. And then down here is going to be a sink in the center bay, and in this bay here is the drain for a shower, and there is the vent for the shower coming in at about 45 degrees to the side, and 1/4 of an inch of slope per foot. So everything is coming along nicely here. We're trying to keep everything up high in the ceiling, and then coming down all the way over here at the beam and across and into the 3-inch pipe down to the main stack out. So there's a bit of plumbing to do here yet, and we may actually have the laundry go through the joist here and drain down that way. We'll think about it. We're trying not to drill any holes into the joists because the spans are 15 feet, and we don't have to drill through. We can just come straight across. It's a little more pipe, but more structural integrity on the joists. So okay, that is what's happening right now, and hope you see something you learn. Maybe you can use it on your own project. Alright, thanks. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you if you already have. See you on the next episode. Okay, so it is Friday. Got a lot done this week. Got a lot of plumbing done today. So there is the main line coming out. We have, why is the camera jerky? Someone's goofing with my picture. I'm going to start over. Okay, we got a bunch of plumbing done today. This is the guest room toilet, or entry bath, I guess is what we call it, half bath. And we got our laundry room committed or recommitted. The washer is going to be over here now, and the sink over here. The toilet will stay, and the shower will stay where that's at. We're going to do a mortar bed shower. This is going to be all custom tile through here, so when we get to that, you'll want to be sure to tune in to see how this is done. And then we also will have a couple of different shower heads going, and a slide rail with a rope shower on that, or a hand spray. And then we have installed the plumbing down here. So that is where the toilet comes in. We've got a vent up here. We've got our 1/4 inch per foot slope. This is where the sink in the bath upstairs will be. And this is going to be a 3-inch main vent. And all of the pipes up in the attic are going to, all the vents up in the attic will come across and connect into that 3-inch, so that we only have one big pipe sticking up through the roof. So we have 4-inch coming in, and then it converts to 3-inch. And it's got a couple of extra turns in there, but that is because that is just the way it had to be run. And this here is a last minute thought that the homeowners had to put a dog sink down here. So that's going to be the drain for that. There's the vent for it, and that vent will go up and connect into the 3-inch main stack up above. It's just got to connect in above the sink level in the bathroom upstairs here. It's got to be above any water basins. So there you go, and you can see we have a good slope built into the pipe. And this has to go all the way across and connect up. You can see the pipes over here for the shower, and those are going to come down there and across. Excuse the ABS glue on my finger. So, okay, well, it is time to have a weekend. And so these pipes here come down at an angle, and then the wall will cover, the wallboard will cover everything through there. So you're only going to see a little bit of it. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found something interesting, informative. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. Okay, so we have the plumbing for the bathroom done. You can see there's a sink drain 1 there, sink drain 2 here. There's the 2-inch vent. Comes in, and it has a little over 1/4 of an inch per foot of slope in it, and it connects into the laundry vent here and the laundry tub there. Then next to that is the 2-inch vent that is dedicated to the toilet, which is right here, and the 2 vents run across. The lower one is the toilet, the upper one is the bathroom and laundry. And so this one here is vented off the 2-inch pipe. This one is vented and drains down there. This one here is also coming off of the 2-inch vent, comes down into a long elbow and into a 1.5" Y with a 45-degree elbow on it to give that a long turn also, and that's good for snaking. And that goes down into the drain, which has a long elbow under the floor there going across the garage ceiling to the main stack. And this 2-inch pipe here is the clean out for the shower, because nobody wants a clean out access in their shower stall. So we ran it across here where it will be behind the sink cabinet under the sink. And there is the 2-inch shower drain, which we'll be making a custom shower base for this before long. So then next up is putting in the concrete for the shower base. We finished the cementing in the shower base, and then we'll tile over that. We have the drain is right about there. You might be able to see the outline of it, and we'll just scratch off the green concrete in the morning and get that set up to do tile. So it's about 1.5 inches thick of concrete with another 1 inch of concrete mortar under it to support. Okay, we have finished mortaring in all the seams and joints, corners of the Durock for the shower stall. And we have a little bit more work to do on it. And we were able to screw the shower drain up just enough to meet with the floor tile, so that we have all the levels are matching and everything flows nicely down the drain. So yeah, looks good. So we got most of our plumbing is wrapped up now. That finishes up all the drain pipe. There's the 3-inch main stack there. This is another toilet vent here. The pipe here is for the bathroom sink upstairs here. And the pipe there is the vent for a pipe down in the garage, a sink down there. And we have the vent comes all the way up here so that it is above any potential water basin
water backups. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it. And this here stub out up top there, that is just for test. We'll fill up the entire drain system for the house with a garden hose up there, and filling it up to that point gets the water above any and all glue joints, and then we can just test it from there without having to climb up on the roof over the new cedar shingles, which we don't want to walk on those. There is the Sharkbite laundry box, 2-inch drain on that, clean out for the toilet, laundry tub on the right. So yeah, things are coming along nicely. Okay, so went down to the box store, orange flavored, and picked up a bunch of PEX. So we're going to do that, and then here is about a half of the concrete for the deck footings. And this time we're going to do something new. We are going to try the PEX Crimp system. So I got this Apollo Krunk Tool. It's by Tektite, I think is the manufacturer, and Apollo is the brand series or name, whatever. So we got that, and then we also have this other tool here just in case. This one I think is a little heavier than the one that's in the box here. You see this here's got a single ring, and this one has a double ring. Then we have, here is the ice maker outlet box. Has the Tektite shark type connector on the bottom. Here is the washing machine connector, and both of these have the water hammer arresters in them. And again, it has the Tektite shark bite-like connector for the X pipe on the bottom. And then we just have a whole ton of parts. These are the parts. This particular one is a 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducing coupler. So, and we also have these here 90-degree turns so that you can make a bend in the pipe. The plastic turn will hold the form of the pipe so it doesn't collapse. And what's nice about these is they're cheap, they're quick and easy to use, they have an attachment, and you don't need a compression fitting. Okay, and resuming the video, let's see where I leave off. So we've got these two crimping tools, and then we've got all the Apollo connectors. These are the T's. So let me get all this stuff unloaded, and I'll lay things out and then show it off a little bit better then. New PEX plumbing going in. This is where the water heater will be. The PEX comes across the ceiling. 2 lines, one higher than the other, so that we can cross lines easily without running into each other. And we have coming over here, and each of these bend corners saves having to cut and put a compression joint in there. And the nice thing about that is no chance of a leak. So here is our continuous loop for the hot that continues over there, and then it'll have a 1/2 inch return. So there will be a full video on PEX plumbing coming up.
But now it is time for lunch. All right, it is Tuesday, and we've been making some more progress on the project here, getting some more plumbing up. You can see we have water supplies going up to the laundry room now. We put 3/4 inch PEX over the 1/2 inch PEX as kind of a rub guard, a little extra protection. This is going to be going to a hose bib outside, and they want to have hot water available on that hose bib so they can wash their dogs. And so what we'll do is we will put a valve set inside the wall here, and then it will continue down to the hose bib and out the side. And what else have we got going here? Oh, we just have the plumbing going up through the walls here to the bathroom above. Okay, so we put our recirculating line in for the hot water. Let's get some light on here. Okay, so that is the recirculating line coming down with the black tape over it. There's the hot and cold, and they go across, and then the 1/2 inch line is the recirculating line, and it goes all the way back over to the water heater's location. We're just going to make our way back here to show you what happens. I'll keep my light on it, and there it is. It comes down here. So this is where the water heater is going to be, and the pipes will come down. This recirculating line will come down and meet a 3/4 inch galvanized pipe that's going to have a Grundfos recirculating pump with timer on it, so it can be set for certain times of the day. And then there's the hot and cold are just kind of up in the ceiling. And we've got our electrical is being cleaned up. I'm using a little headlight to illuminate what I'm shooting so that we can see what I'm talking about. And let's go upstairs and take a look. There's the gas line. This is a flexible gas line that has a mesh safety coat over it. More about that later. Okay, so now we'll show you some more about the plumbing here. This is a Kohler shower valve. This is the back side. So what we're doing is it's normally a tub shower valve, but you can also use it for if you have a shower and a hand spray, and this is just a shower here. So what we do is normally on a shower valve, the bottom here is the primary, which normally will feed the tub spout, but in this case it's going to feed the shower head, which is over on that side of the room. Over, yeah, you see that white block of 2x4 and the white pipe coming down. We'll get over there in a minute. So it comes down from the valve, across and up through the top plate, and then goes across the ceiling and over to the shower. Then the hand spray comes out here, which is normally the shower outlet, and that is when you push the button on the valve in, it diverts water to the shower head, but in this case it's going to divert over to the hand spray, which is right there. And so we'll go over and show you that a little bit more closely, but you see the white pipe for that comes across and in up top there and down to this. So we have our plumbing set up. So here's what's going with the plumbing. The hot water comes up and is teed off at the valve here. It's a 3/4 inch pipe to it, and then it reduces, it's a 3/4 by half T, meaning it has a 1/2 inch side out and a 1/2 inch going up. And so what happens is the 3/4 inch is the main hot line, which goes from valve to valve to valve in the house, or from plumbing location, like to the laundry tub, to the guest bath, to the lavatory sink, and then finally ending at the shower. And then from here it goes, that's 1/2 inch red pipe is the recirculating line that goes back over to the water heater, and we just showed you that in the video a little before that. Now also we use a red for the hot water, a blue for the cold water, and the white is for mixed water. And that's just the standard that we use. The white pipe is a combination of hot and cold, and then also it's generally not a pipe that you're going to connect into. Like if you were remodeling a house and you wanted to hook into the hot line, you would know that if it's a red pipe it's hot and blue it was cold. And if you saw a white pipe, then you would know that it is a mixed line that is going from a shower or tub valve to a faucet location. So let me walk over here and show you these now. So the faucet is, or the pipe comes up to the ceiling, and for the hand spray it comes over and down. And this here is a Kohler hand spray outlet, and the end of there is on a pipe that has O-rings, and that polished pewter fixture will slide in and out to go to the tile surface of the finished shower. And over on this side here, you see we have the nail plate, and the pipe comes down and into the shower valve. And the shower valve is basically set, pretty much the threads are flush to the surface of the wall. Now also, if you look at the fittings here, these are stainless steel crimp fittings. And what's nice about these is you see they have 2 crimp lines on them, and those 2 crimps crimp on either side of a rib on the fitting. And we'll show you that here in just a second. Here is an example of a fitting. This is a 3/4 inch fitting, so you can see, it's a little too bright, you can see the ribs on the fitting. You see these ribs here, and with the shower, or the stainless steel crimp ring, you can see how it crimps here and here, which is on either side of the center ring, and so it creates a better seal than these other copper crimp rings that they just flat crunch, smash over everything, whereas these crunch over in between the rings. So here is the crimp tool for that, and you can see the crimp tool has 2 crimping surfaces in it, and those crimp surfaces give this a crimp that is similar to like a hydraulic hose. So just thought I would explain that a little bit to you. Okay, so now we have these here copper valve hose fittings, and we have the PEX connects to them down below there. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, they gave me paint for Christmas. Okay, so we're getting ready to do our leak tests on the drains. So we have our caps on all the drains now, and we'll fill those up all the way.
I'll see you later. Okay, well, have a great trip. Send me a... Yeah, probably won't see you until after Christmas.
Let me pause. Okay, now back to this. Okay, so these are for the angle stops under the sink, and the PEX comes up and connects to the copper down below there. You can just make it out. You can get in there a little more closely. And so we have those attached with some hose clamps or pipe clamps. These are all plastic, so but you can see they're fairly solid. Okay, moving along, we have some clamping under here too. Yeah, we like to have everything clamped off. And this here is the front side of the shower valve. So they have kind of wanted an unusual setup here where this is the valve and this is the diverter here. You push in to divert for the hand spray, or just leave it alone for the shower head, which is over there. And the hand spray is over here. Okay. Okay, so this here is the back side of the laundry. There's the laundry box connection. And we have these here formed corners for the PEX pipe. And what's nice about these corners is there is no crimp connections. They are PEX connections. There's no chance for a leak. Let me close the window here. Didn't want Mitch to forget his Christmas present. Let me go in this side here. I think I lost enough weight to be able to fit through here. Yes, I did. Works very nice when you lose 75 pounds of weight. Okay, so this here is the side for the laundry sink. And there's just a little bit different of a way to hook these pipes up for the sink angle stops. This is where the laundry tub will be. There's the drain for the laundry tub with the white cap on it. And this is the drain for the laundry. You can see there's the hot and the cold, and those are water hammer arresters on top of the valves. That clear pipe is a drain for the furnace, and when the seal gets removed there for the laundry drain, then that pipe will just go down into that and drain the furnace moisture that gets collected. Okay, and so over here is just the same thing here. This is for the bathroom laundry sink, and you can see the outlets there for the sink again. And this here is this pipe here is the vent for the sink down in the garage downstairs, and then over there that's the vent for the sink for the laundry, or I'm sorry, for the bathroom. And then up here is the vent that comes across here for the toilet. And then each fixture does have its own vent. This one here is a vent for this toilet, and that right here is a clean out access. And then over on that wall you can see you can just make out left of the ladder a black pipe going up, and that is the vent for the shower and the sink, bathroom sink in the master bath. And these pipes come across the ceiling here. There's one there, and there's the other one there, and then they go over here and connect into the main stack. And the reason that we brought those back over to the main stack is so that we had a minimum number of pipes protruding through the roof. It's a cedar shake roof, and we want to have as few protrusions through it as possible. And this here is a stud repair kit, and we put this in because we have a 2-inch pipe coming through the stud there, and so the wood gets a bit thin. So Simpson makes this thing, and it fits over the pipe. It's a pretty good gauge, like a 16 gauge, and it reinforces the stud. Okay, so I think that covers our progress on the house. We are a couple of days away from getting the inspections now, and so you see that we do have these pipes are all nice clamped together, lots of clamps. Right here we do have 20 mil OT tape, and that is rub protection. We have it down here too. So anywhere that pipes can rub, we make sure that they won't. And then these are pipe clamps. We like to make sure that the pipes are all solidly held in place. And so that is about it. So for it is now December 14th. Let me use the glasses here and the hat. But it's been a good week. We're getting close to starting to do inside work on the project. We will have our plumbing and electrical inspection on Tuesday, I believe. And then on the 19th is when insulation starts getting filled in. So there's a lot happening real fast. Here's the transition from PEX, those are the compression collars, to these copper stub outs. And then this here is just a sink that they wanted at the last minute change in the downstairs here, and that is a vent that goes all the way up. It's a dry vent. There's no sink going to it above. It's just a dry air vent coming down for this sink. So we have Jacob here is our trusty assistant, and he is insulating all of the, certified, special certified for the job.
YouTube certified.
Yeah, well, not quite.
Not quite?
You're ready for prime time though. So Jacob is insulating the hot water loop so that we get a hot water insulated and stays hot more efficiently as it circulates through the hot water system of the house. So you see he's got almost all of it done, and then there's a couple of little sections here that we'll deal with specially. It looks good.
I think after me and your videos might add some subscribers.
Oh, I don't know.
At least 50 after this video.
Yeah, 50.
They're impressed with the insulating.
Well, the whole channel is really just kind of a science experiment. Hey Marty, it's a science experiment. So yeah, he's got to come over here and get this loop here done.
So on this,
And
what
down
is
here.
that the wall, Jeff?
Yes.
So do you want me to just stick it onto the wood, or it's kind of hard
Oh,
to pry off?
Yeah, you can, fit
kinda
it
do
over
both.
it for the most part. Through the center, it will pry away, and you can get it to stick that way. And then, if it's 90% covered, because it's going to get fiberglass insulation up in there anyway.
Yeah.
So the fiberglass insulation is already going to keep it warm.
Yeah.
You dig? Okay, well,
Well, I don't dig.
no, you're plumbing right now, sorta. Plumbing light.
Well, where do we get more? We get a little bit more of this anyway.
I have to get some more PEX fittings too. So this here is the last little piece I have to do for the recirculating line. I've got these pieces here. That's the main cold supply through the house, and that is the source 3/4 inch hot. And that is the 1/2 inch return line. And so I need to do to that what's been done with these. Put up a support, clamp the angle fitting, and then bring another support clamp to hold it straight down. So after I get that, then we can install this here. Let me find the English side. Hot water recirculating pump, and it has a timer on it. Watts. Hot water recirculating system. And then this here is our whole house hot water expansion tank. And so that's just kind of a safety item. And we will install that over here. We just need to put some galvanized steel pipe up to support it. And then there's also the one-way check valve that goes on. And I'll show you the check valve, which is right here somewhere. All right, did you steal my check valve? My check valve. You got thousands of people that want to see the check valve, and now I can't find it. Oh wait, no, it's in this box. There we go. And there is the 3/4 inch brass check valve, and you see this flap inside, and it opens up when it's level. So you install it flat like that, and water will only flow through one direction, and that's how you get the recirculating line to work properly without backfeeding. Okay, that's good. And just to show you a couple of tools, this is, the yellow ones are for the copper ring PEX. There's 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and this is the mistake removal tool. And you just stick that into the fitting, and this side cuts the ring. This one is for the stainless steel rings, and those are a lot tougher. This tool will not cut those. And so there you go. They look similar, but they are different sizes. Okay, right here we are looking at the original bathroom plan. You can see that the shower is here. There's going to be a toilet there. There's going to be a sink here, and then a closet. The architect has designed the framing, and he's positioned all of these things to work within the confines of the framing that he has designed. So this toilet fits in between floor joists, and that way you don't have to worry about pipes interfering with the joists. Okay, well, we've made some changes to the plans. The customers have decided that they wanted to do something different. Now it's going to be a half wall or a full wall here, halfway into the shower, and the shower door is going to be here. So this is still going to be a custom shower, cement base and tile. Then the sink is going to be here, just a single sink, and the toilet will be there, and this is a half wall here. So what has happened now is the toilet lines up just about over one of the truss joists below it. So that's brought up a problem where we've had to notch the truss joist to get the toilet drain in there. The problem is that you really want to stay away from notching engineered beams and joists. So we had to notch one beam and one truss joist. And let me walk over and I'll show you what we have going on with that situation. Okay, so that is the toilet. And the toilet comes down. We have a 45-degree toilet flange on the floor, so it sits on the floor and then angles 45 degrees over. So we've got that, and we had to notch the top half of the top cord. So what we've had to do to remedy that is we have 7/8 of plywood on this side. It's glued in with subfloor adhesive. And then we've done the same thing over on this side. You can just see it down inside there. And then we took some 1.25" LP rim board, and we have a nail pattern of a 16-penny nail every 4 inches on the board. And so what we did was we glued it with some subfloor adhesive, and then we got some bar clamps and C-clamps and clamped it together nice and tight. And once it was all tight and fitted, we nailed it off with the 16-penny galvanized nails. Then we added that heavy angle bracket that has 3.5-inch SDS screws going into the beam and into the repaired truss joist. And so that is how you repair a truss joist. And you see we had to section the pipe there. We cut the pipe 6 inches over, and then we were able to shove the repair beam section up and slip it over the PEX pipe that's in there. And then we did a repair with a PEX coupler and a couple of stainless steel PEX collars, and then crimped them together. You can see the telltale holes that the pipe is all the way in on the couplers, on the compression collars. So let's go take a look at the Simpson repair manual, and I'll show you what Weyerhaeuser shows to repair things. So this is the Weyerhaeuser truss joist technical bulletin to make approved nailed repair assemblies for truss joists. And so this is what we have done here is they give you 2 ways to make this repair. One is with a 2x4 with a backer in the webbing, and we chose to do the stronger repair, which connects both the top and bottom cord with the 1.25" PSL parallel stranded lumber rim joist. So now that is what they give you as a guide for the repair. And over here is the exact repair for what we did. This here is a hole, half notch in the beam, half of the top cord notched, and the maximum amount of notch can be 4 inches in length, and they don't allow this repair in a larger notch. And then the notch is 12 inches from the wall. So this is a repair that is designed for the installation of a toilet, just like what we have. So the notch is 12 inches from the wall. Here's the wall below, and so just assume there's a wall above this too. 12 inches in from the wall, and then the repair board goes 24 inches beyond that, and then you see the nail pattern here with nails every 4 inches. And so that is how you repair the truss joist. And we have a 9.5 inch, maximum hole is 3 3/8. We have the 210 on a 16 inch center, and we can, with the repair, we can still span 17 feet with a 10-pound load, or 15 feet 8 inches with a 20-pound dead load. So we are well within the specification of making this repair with the truss joists we have. And just to show you, this is the center beam here. That's the big 7-inch by 12-inch beam, and down there is where the toilet repair is. So that is how you repair a notch on a truss joist. Very simple, but you would want to make a consultation with your inspector before you make the repair, and our inspector is fine. Okay, now let's look at the other situation here. There's a notch in the beam here and another notch in the beam there. And the reason that these notches are here is there just wasn't any other place to put a vent for the shower or for the lavatory sink. They wanted the lavatory sink there, and that's where it had to go. So this is a 11 7/8 high beam. It's 3.5 by 11 7/8. This is an 8-foot span. So technically all we needed was a 3.5 by 9.5 beam to make the span. So because we have an oversized beam, the cut at the top does not matter. And let me show you a mock-up that we have here. Okay, this is a mock-up that we made, and this is an actual size mock-up. So this shows, this is the top of the beam here, and we have 9 3/4 inch. So we have more than what we need for the beam below, but also the notch doesn't actually go all the way through the beam. The notch is cut up at a curve, so we still have the full height of the beam over here. So there's kind of an average of beam through the curve of the notch. And so it's probably equal to about a 2 by 10 beam, which would be, or 2 by 12, 11.5. So anyway, we have more beam than what is needed. And then also this beam here, we have 1.25 inch rim joist on the exterior of the beam. Then here's the the beam itself, and then we have 3/4 inch of plywood on the inside of it. And you can see how this makes up 5.5 inches over the wall below. And then this here is the exterior sheathing. This is a spacer on top, and that is the flooring. And this is the sill plate on the second floor, and this is the wall above. So you can see how the beam is actually mostly there, and that we have more beam than we need for the span of the garage door. So you can do the notch on the beam like that, but you have to have more beam than what you need for the span. So when notching a beam, you have to be more careful than you do with a truss joist. And with the truss joist, you just want to do your homework and make sure that you can do any sort of notching or cutting before you actually do it. So there you go. That is the repair that we made. And I'll run upstairs and show you quickly the bathroom. Okay, so we are in the bathroom upstairs here, and you can see here are the, where is it? I'm trying to find the, okay, here's the nail pattern for the joist below right there, and the toilet was going to sit right in about here. So the toilet upstairs here would have been fine, and then the sink was going to be right here, but they changed that to move the sink over here. So we have the sink here now, and this is the notch, first notch in the beam below, and then over here is the vent for the shower and for the sink here that goes up and around the light fixture and works its way back over to the main stack. So there is the toilet with the half wall, and to stiffen this half wall we have this angle bracket, so you can see that the wall is pretty solid. And this is where the toilet is, and you can see the screw holes there for the repair below. So that is how you make a repair on a truss joist. The new plan calls for completely removing that area there, and this is what the new plan is. So we remove the pantry area that's in here, and we put a beam all the way across. So we needed a larger beam, and when this wall here comes out, all these floor joists up here are running this direction, but when you get here, they're going this direction. So we're going to have to put a beam onto the beam. The beam that's here, we'll have to bring a beam across here and connect to it, and then we'll have to hanger all these joists to the new beam. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get that thing up there, but we'll make it. Then there's also a bunch of plumbing from the upstairs here that we're going to have to remove and change out. So that's stuff that's going to have to happen in the next week or so. So you can see the plumbing that's up there now. So this elbow here going up is to the vent that goes up through the side of the house, and
The bathtub is draining into that. That's a 2-inch hub side inlet on a 4-inch through T, and the 2-inch hub on it reduced down to 1.5 inches. That elbow up inside the joist goes over to the toilet. So all of this cast iron is going to have to be removed. I think what we're going to do is, instead of coming down through this wall that's going to be eliminated, we'll come down over here and open up the wall here and come down through that. This window is going to be going in. There'll be a stove here. And then you see these cross joists here. Stupid light. So you can see these cross joists, and we'll have to put a beam up there and nail into that to support this, because there is a bathtub above it, so it's going to need good support. So then this doorway comes out, this wall comes out, this toilet here comes out. All of this plumbing has to come out. And then we're going to put an island sink in. So there's quite a bit of stuff is going to have to happen here. This wall comes out, and the beam, new beam, will go from there all the way across. That vent pipe has to come out, and that wire needs to be rerouted. There's not much point in recording the work right now. This is just going to be some cleanup, and then we need to think about it for a little while. We have to dismantle the kitchen in behind the wall here and get the cabinets and sink and all that stuff taken out. And this is where it's going to get tough for the people who live here, because they won't have a kitchen anymore. But what we are going to do is move some of the cabinets here into the laundry room, and we'll take advantage of putting the sink here where the laundry basin is, and we'll use the dryer outlet for the stove. And then there's plenty of outlets on the walls for them to use. So things should work out pretty good. This will just be their temporary little kitchen. So this is the temporary kitchen in the laundry room that they've been using. Those are the cabinets that will go in, and then there'll be a washer dryer along the wall there, and some other cabinets. Okay, today is the day. We have the new big beam in place, and we did a flush beam. The upper floor joists are all hangered and nailed off to the new beam. And so we had, we're just leaving the pony wall intact here for tonight, and then we'll pull it out tomorrow when we finish hangering everything off. I think that the beam is 16 feet and 8 inches long. Okay, so here's what we got going here. Got to pull out these floor joists so that we can lift that pipe out, and we got to cut that 4-inch pipe way down in there, and it's a tight fit. Then this here all has to come out. So we're going to be busy for a while. Anyway, I got to run. We're on our way down to the store and lunch and all that good stuff. Okay, let's get this started. And I have a special blade here. Diablo 9-inch metal cast iron carbide blade. So we'll see what happens here. You're hearing the Sawzall at regular speed. It wouldn't sound right. Played back at 6 times, so I took a section of sound and just used it in this. And I've finished the cut there. Mitch is carrying off the piece that was from the toilet and then going up through the ceiling or floor. Now I'm cutting the old lead arm for the toilet, and if you look quick, there it went. So now we're going to cut this pipe down below. Mitch is trying his hand at the saw now. And so we'll pull that out, and there it goes. It's kind of heavy. Yeah, he's got it. He's a big boy, Mr. Tough Guy. So I got to lift up these panels off the floor, and I'm going to cut the 90-degree corner on the pipe there. You'll see me start cutting that in a second. I've been cutting away on that corner, and it's very slow going. The metal seems to be thicker there. My expensive carbide blade seems to have gone dull on me. It got blue hot. That's why I grabbed that rag. That hub at the floor, so we have to peel up some of the diagonal sheathing so that we can get access or get a wide enough opening to lift it out. So Mitch and I are working away at it, moving some wires out of the way, and there it goes, and it's heavy.
All right, we have been working our tails off this week, and especially today. So we have our water lines are installed over to where the island is going to be, off of this line here. And we also updated the hot water to the shower downstairs. It was on an old 1/2-inch galvanized pipe, and we had this new hot water feed coming from a different location in the addition, so we just ran an extra branch off of the main line coming into the kitchen. And we have the hot water comes in from the garage, and it branches both hot and cold on up to the shower. So it goes up to the shower there, hot, and the cold is right there. And it comes across over here. The cold comes up to feed the toilet. Where is it? Well, the cold pipe is up in there somewhere. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. And then this here bathroom took forever to get hot water, and so we put a bronze fitting to the old galvanized pipe, and then PEXed new hot water line to it. Okay, so what else we got going here? This is kind of a brain teaser for plumbing. We've got a lot going on here. So here is the main stack down here. And so you can see the, I can't see it yet. Okay. I don't know if that's focused or not. All right, come on, focus. Okay, so we have a 3-inch T with a cap on it, and that is going to be our test point. And then we have a 3-inch Y here, and that is where the 3-inch main drops in. I'll show you that in a minute. And this is a 2-inch vent line that vents to the sinks downstairs, the shower, laundry, and lav, and the toilet. And then this is the vent that's going to go over to the island sink, and then that will come back over here and drain into the main here. And so that is how the plumbing works down there. And now let's look at it up here. So there is the bathroom sink upstairs, and we cut it, the pipe there. It's right up next to the ceiling. We had to cut it far enough away that we could get a Mission stainless band clamp over it, coupler. And then that pipe runs across with a 1/4 of an inch per foot slope. I'm walking over open joists here, so I'm trying to be non-klutzy. Okay, so the pipe comes across and then angles at a 45 degree through the joist and comes in over here and meets up with the bathtub drain. And you can see the bathtub drain has a T above it, and the T above goes to a vent, and that is about 8 inches away from the tub, so that is a good vent connection. And then the toilet has a long 3-inch elbow on it going through the beam, and we have our documentation from Weyerhaeuser showing that the beam is approved to have up to a 3 5/8 inch hole in the exact center of the beam, and that is an LSL beam. A Paralam will not do that. And there is the vent above for the toilet, or for the main stack. You see it going up there. Okay, and so the lav sink comes across, the tub is above that, comes into that T above where the vent is dropping down, and then it goes into a 45 degree and a 2-inch Y with a 1.5 inch out on the Y. And then it goes into a long 90 degree elbow, drops down into a 3x2 Y with a 45 degree bend on it. So everything is working out very nicely. And it's kind of a brain teaser to get that all up there. Okay, so let me show you the upstairs real quick. Okay, so we're not done yet. We had to get the bathroom functional. Okay, so the 3-inch main comes up and will attach here going through the roof to the old cast iron, and up here there will be a 3x2 Y with a 2-inch vent going out of it, over to that 1.5 inch and over to a 2-inch. That 1.5 inch is for the tub, and the 2-inch will be for the island and the basement. Okay, so this is the basement, and that 3-inch is from the diagonally is from the toilet upstairs, and it's also picking up the lav sink and the bathtub. And above that is, you see the pipe up here, right there is the 2-inch vent pipe that's coming down and picking up all the vent pipes in the basement and the island. Okay, there's our test plug and a clean out, I suppose. That is our stainless band clamp that transitions from 4-inch cast iron to 3-inch ABS. And this is some of the existing plumbing down here. At some point somebody used the clean out to install some 3-inch copper with an 1.5 inch copper in for an old kitchen remodel. Okay, so that is that area. Now I'll show you the garage. Okay, so the garage, we had to tear down the ceiling and run hot and cold for the island through the ceiling in the garage and through the wall into the old house. And so we have our connections over here. There's a PEX Apollo, and over there is the shark bite connection. We put the shark bite in there because with all this stuff there was no way to get the Krunk Tool on it, and that one, the blue cold pipe, we had just enough leverage to get the tool on it. So that is what we had to do to get all the water into the new area and for the plumbing. Okay, all right, so that is it. Making good headway on everything. And again, there's that beam that we had to put up, hanging those joists, and then that connector there. And the drains. Everything is working very nice. Okay, it's Friday, so hope you enjoyed this video. Got some good ideas for how to do your own plumbing projects. This is a pretty good example of some of the possibilities for tough problems. Okay. Okay, we just got our electrical, plumbing, and framing inspections, and the island loop vent has been approved. The way this island loop vent works is we've got a main stack here, and we have a vent to the basement that comes off of that and down and serves the basement, and this branch off has to be 6 inches higher than the sink in the kitchen where the island vent loop is. And so the loop, the vent for the loop continues down from that branch and then goes across here. So we have a long run here, and what we decided to do with the loop vent is it comes in here and hits a Y, and it's sloping down this way, and then the pipe goes out to the island loop vent, and it is sloping back towards here and going down, and then it drains out into the top of the main stack there. And so that was the only way that we could get the separation, the height for the vent from the drain below. And so you can see that we have about a 5-inch difference in height between the two. And so that works out nicely for separating the vent from the drain. The drain has a 1/4 inch per foot, and in some spots 3/8 inch per foot, so it has a good flow velocity down to the main stack. And the vent above slopes a 1/4 inch per foot out to here, where it loops back around. And so this side here is the vent, and this side here is the drain side. And so we have a cabinet center line here, so there's a sink over here and a cabinet on the other side. These are going to come up in the cabinet behind the sink, and the sink drain will go into the cabinet below the sink, and then the cleanouts will be on the other side in the sink behind for easy access. That orange pipe is for the fire suppression system, which we're going to be starting to do the installation on that pretty soon. Then we had some framing issues with the old joist there that used to be supported by the wall. And so all the inspector wants us to do is to sister in a 2x6 up into the gap, and then a 2x3 on the bottom, and then we'll bolt the 2x3 into the beam through the 2x6, and that will hold that up. And then we just do a little 2x6 on this side here to strengthen that joist under the tub. So we have, everything is all set to go now. We have our plumbing approval, electrical approval, and framing approvals. We had a pretty good week. We got our fire sprinkler inspection, which passed. We had our inspection on the plumbing for the island sink loop vent. And we have our circuits coming up through the floor here. There's the sink disposal and instant hot, the dishwasher, and 2 countertop outlets. Then one thing I like to do is we're running the PEX up through the floor too, and I like to put 3/4 inch tube PEX over the 1/2 inch PEX when it goes through a floor, just to add some extra strength to the PEX pipe. Just a little extra protection. So we have 3/4 inch CDX plywood glued and screwed down to the floor. Under here, this hump is where the island sink is going to be. There are the pipes and wires for the island. Where is the island at? Right there. I'm going to take another turn on the light. And the water filled up into the pipes here. And so we had all the... Okay, and that is our test plug. That's the one that sprayed me real good. But, so the upstairs all comes down into the 3-inch Y here. That bend, that 90 up there, is the elbow from the kitchen island sink. And we are set. And then over here, that is the 2-inch vent going to the island sink. And that is the 1.5-inch vent that was connected up above. You can see the drills holes through the bottom plate. Okay, so we are good to go on that. This is the last thing to see. We have our okay, there is the footing that we dug out, and right here is another existing footing. Not sure why that is there, but so we dug 18 square for that, and then we'll put and then the concrete extends under the wall there too. We have to make sure it gets under there, so we'll fill that with about 7 or 8 bags of concrete and throw some rebar in there, and we'll be done. And that is, the bottom is the drain for the laundry tub, and up above is the drain for the wash machine drain. Okay, so that's it. And also the inspector took a quick gander at the plumbing to the kitchen over there and the water heater installation, and everything passed here too, so we're good to go.
Okay, I am installing a gas water heater, and it has a recirculating loop for hot water so that you have hot water at any sink location instantly. So let's explain how this works. Over here on the left bottom is the main water line coming in. This line going straight up, that just is the cold water to all the sink locations in the house. This here, okay, it starts with the valve here. That's the shutoff to the water heater. Goes into a flex line that comes up to a set of pipe here. There's a 3/4 inch T here, and there is a flex line that comes down and back up to the expansion tank. And this flex line drops down about 8 inches and is kind of a heat trap, so that it prevents heat from the water heater in the pipe here from working its way back up to the expansion tank. This here is a shutoff valve for servicing in case you need to shut it off and do something with the tank or something else in the line. So it's just kind of a redundant thing, not necessary, but it's there. Here's a 90-degree T, and in this area here, all right, this is where the recirculating loop comes back to the water heater. So you have your cold water coming into the water heater and your recirculating hot loop coming back into the water heater also. Here's a check valve, and what that does is it only allows water to flow this direction back into the water heater. And the reason you need that valve is so that when you open up one of the valves at one of the sink locations anywhere in the house, you don't want cold water back feeding up to that fixture. So this check valve prevents any cold water from coming up and back into the hot water loop. So what does happen is when you turn on the water, the hot water, you have cold water rushing in. That wasn't supposed to happen, darn it. You have cold water rushing in, and you have the continuous loop here too, so they mix at this point, and it just goes into the water heater and turns into hot water and goes its way back out. So here is the hot water out from the water heater, which goes to a circulating pump, and that pump sends the water up through the line, and The line is a continuous line with a branch at each location. So there's a laundry washing machine, there's a laundry sink, master bath sink, master bath shower, guest bath sink, there's a garage work sink, and then outside is a hose bib that has a hot and a cold on it. And at that point, it becomes the return loop working its way back to the water heater. Here's a shutoff valve here, just in case you need to service anything in this area. And so all of these pipes have foam tube insulation over them. You need the insulation to keep the efficiency up. You don't want to be losing all your heat in the water as it goes through the loop, because the loop can be 100 and some feet long. Okay, and so that's how that works. The water comes in, goes through here into the water heater, gets sent back out through the line, past all the fixtures, then the loop begins back through the check valve, down the T and in. And the cold water comes in and down into the water heater and out. So that is how the system works. When you operate this system, all the air must be removed from the loop for the pump to circulate properly. If the air is not out, you will have an air gap in there, and the pump won't be able to pump water up and through the area where the air gap is. All the pipe needs to be insulated to make it efficient, and this is where, over here, this is where the recirculating loop ends and enters back into the water heater, continually repeating the cycle, so there is always hot water at any location. The check valve prevents incoming cold water from backflowing into the recirculating hot line. So this is just a simple diagram, and now I am going to show you the video of the actual installation. And this one here is to the water heater, and I like to install the water heater as the first thing off the main line, and that's because it helps to reduce the amount of temperature drop. For instance, you're taking a shower and someone kicks on the cold water somewhere else, it reduces the amount of cold or cooling in your shower, because the first thing being fed off the line is your hot water heater. So that just kind of makes it a little bit nicer. The water heater is on a pedestal, and the reason you put it on a pedestal is that if there is a gas leak, gas tends to hang at the bottom. It's heavier than air. So if you have the water heater down on the floor and there is a significant amount of gas leak, when the water heater ignites, or if you've got a pilot light, it can all of a sudden explode or cause the gas in the room to explode. And so that's one way that they can try to make the water heater safer, is by elevating it. And that's about 12 inches. So the next thing we have here are the earthquake straps. And those go into studs. You want to make sure you get them in the stud. And here's how these work. You have these two U brackets, and one of them goes in the strap. You see how it sticks through these rectangular holes, and the strap continues across the water heater. And then you have the other strap that comes across. You put the U in that, spacing it about
2 inches apart, you have one slot between these two brackets. So then you put this bracket in the proper location, and then you fold this over or under, and that holds this bracket in place. And then the strap that is on the water heater behind it allows it to slide across without scraping into the water heater. Okay, we have 2 straps connected on this side, and we have the strap connected over on this side, but down here we haven't connected this one yet because it's a concrete wall. So we need to drill that out with a 3/8 hole, and we will be putting one of these expansion bolts in there. So you drill a 3/8 hole and slide this into the hole, and then when you go to tighten it, there is a cone at this end that's in the deep end, and there are little teeth on the collar that grab into the concrete as you pull back out. So as you tighten your nut holding the strap, this cone pulls back out and spreads the collar apart, which makes the teeth dig in even harder. And so the more you tighten it, the harder it grips. So it's a pretty good system for attaching stuff into concrete. Okay, I got the bolt in here. It's a 3" by 3/8 inch concrete anchor. I showed you the anchor earlier, so that's holding very nicely. And this here is just kind of a diagram of the installation for the water heater. And so that just kind of gives a layout of the pipes and where to install things: expansion tank, shut-off valves, heat traps. Okay, so let's go back over to the water heater. There are very specific requirements for where you can and cannot position the outside vent. The vent has to be 4 feet from a operating window, and the ruling in this case is we have a gas water heater, or I'm sorry, a gas main here, the gas meter. So this mark here is where the pipe is going to come out through the wall, and that mark is about 2 feet from the gas regulator here. So we need to be 3 feet away from that regulator, so we cannot go to the sidewall. Incidentally, you can't vent closer than 24 inches to a corner either. So that means we have to go this direction. So we can go as close as 18 inches on an inside corner, as long as there's no restricting factor on it, and here there is not. So what we're going to do is come across to here, and then it will just take a 90-degree turn and then a 45-degree angle downward, and that is how we will position our exhaust. So it comes out here, we go across here so that we have 36 inches between the gas regulator and the exhaust of the pipe, and there's no restriction on the electrical meter here, no restriction on the gas line or the gas meter. So 3 feet from the regulator, and then a 1/8 inch downward slope, and that's our position for venting the water heater. Okay. Got the strap, it's all connected. So here we have the gas connection. It's a 1/2 inch flare fitting,
And then we have one of these safety valves here that will automatically stop the flow of gas if it senses a break in the line. So there is the 2-inch PVC vent going out the side of the house, and it puts out a little more noise than I thought it would. Let's walk over there and take a look at the pipes that I have. So right now the pipes are kind of temporary in place. It's glued, but it's not, I have to get a proper mount for it. Right now I'm just using a 6-inch Timberlock bolt to hold this end up. But otherwise you can hear the wind blowing out from that, and it's warm. I mean, it's like 100 degrees, not hot. Probably a little more noise than what I would expect, but so then we have our pipe coming out the wall here, keeping it a nice tight fit. And as you can see, we have our 3 feet of separation from the gas meter regulator, and then you can see the slope in the pipe, 1/8 inch per foot. I think we went just a little bit more than an 1/8 inch per foot. So that looks good right there. I'm happy with that. The whole installation took about 8 hours to do. And there you can see from the side. Okay. So we should be getting some warm in the pipes here by now. No, not yet. But it is, what is it, 65 gallons? So it's going to take a while to... No, it's 50 gallons. But it's still going to take a little while to warm up. So yeah, worked out very nicely. I'm happy with it. So once again, the way this system works is we have an 1.25-inch pipe comes in from the street. There is the main shutoff there. There is the low point drain. Here is the fire suppression system. And that has its own management system. And then this is the shutoff for the house, so that you can service the house without having to shut off the fire. That's a requirement. And there is the valve for the hot water tank, and that goes up to that T there. We're going to put this here pipe dope a little bit on the threads, and then we go over it with this high PTFE Teflon sealing tape, plumber's tape from OT. So we pipe dope a little bit, and then we wrap the part and then assemble it. And then you don't need to go extremely tight. You just tighten things down and then tighten them in the position that you want them. And then when you do tighten them, don't back off on tightening. If you go beyond, you can come back a little bit, but chances are you're probably going to need to go all the way around to the next turn. Otherwise you might get a leak. Comes over here, and you can see that we have a 3/4-inch gate valve. I'm sorry, ball valve. It's kind of hard to get things in here because the positioning is tight. And then here is the check valve, the one-way valve coming this way, and that is the recirculating hot loop. So it comes through here and down and recirculates back over to the pump and out through the system again. And then the expansion tank, remember, is up here close to the cold inlet away from the hot. And then it has a dip of about 8 inches separate, so the heat rises. It'll kind of be a heat trap is what that is. And then over on this side here, that's the recirculating pump. Grundfos, Watts rebrands it, and it goes over here, a loop in the pipe, which is good because the pump has vibration, and the loop is a good thing to have in your pipe. And then it goes up into the ceiling, into the blue PEX. No, sorry, the red PEX. Keep getting a little confused about this. So there you go. That is the way that you hook up a gas water heater with a recirculating hot water pump. And the earthquake straps, 1/3, 1/3, and that's the whole unit. So at every 1/3 you put a strap. Okay, and this here is another project for today. I had to put 1.5 inch 3/4 wall insulation around all these pipes coming into the house because of the fire sprinkler system being attached to it. So it had to be insulated from where it comes into the house and up into the sprinkler control valve. So that took a while to do. I had to fit it and cut it around all these pipes. This section here on the valve body, we're just going to have to get some fiberglass and wrap that, because there's just no good way to wrap that. There's too many pipes and casting changes in there. But yeah, so that looks pretty good. Let me see if I can step back here and get a wider view of it. Okay, so there you go. Fire sprinkler system is all insulated now, and it's a pretty good sized foam. You can see the size of that to my hand, or to the Makita drill, just so you can kind of compare the size of it. And there's the 3/4 wall. It's an R4 insulation value, which is good for this kind of stuff. Okay. So this is the temporary kitchen in the laundry room that they have been using. Those are the cabinets that will go in, and then there'll be a washer dryer along the wall there, and some other cabinets. Okay, so this is the finished laundry room. See, we have a rubbed bronze faucet, which matches the cabinets. There's the master bathroom. So there is the shower we installed. The cabinets. The mirror. Yours truly. There's the island. And we're going to take a look here at the farm sink. It's just a single basin farm sink with a nice faucet on it. I haven't actually seen it yet because I just got back first day on the job. Going to look under the sink here and see how everything got connected. Going to turn on my little flashlight, but it's going to be a little too bright for the camera to adjust. But you see there's electrical outlets in there for the dishwasher, sink disposal, instant hot. There's a air switch to the left there. Those are pretty neat for the disposal. And you can see the hot and cold PEX lines coming up. And then there's a dishwasher on the right side of the sink. So we're not going to really look at the countertop on there, but there's the side of it. We were planning to put an outlet on there, but that is still being thought of. See these wood 2x4 posts under the wing of the countertop. That is there to support it until we put some corbels under there to support it.
Right here is where an entry bathroom used to be. So we removed that wall and all the plumbing. The plumbing main stack used to come down a wall that was here and across to a toilet. Here is the dishwasher, the Thermador again. Okay, so one last look at the kitchen and its layout.